Yes, people, a very happy to all of you. So guys, we're doing this chapter called as accounting process. In the last session, we have completed a discussion on the trial balance. And now I'll be heading forward from here to do unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, all put together, true and false and MCQ. First question, leave it. I did not teach you the accounting equation yet because I'll be teaching this at the end. So leave this. Second one, in the traditional approach, for an entity, a debtor will always be the receiver after the sale of goods. True or false? In traditional approach means what? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debtor is natural personal account or artificial personal account. For an entity, debtor will be receiver after sale of goods. After sale of goods. Upon sale of goods, at the time of sale of goods, debtor will be receiver. Debit the receiver. Debtor, artificial personal account or natural personal account. From his point of view, what is he doing? He's receiving the goods. So what is the entry? Debtor to sales. Debit the receiver. He's receiving the goods. After sale of goods, he has to pay money. So he'll be the giver of the money. He'll be giver of the money, not the receiver. True or false? False. Answer. Every time I have to go so down, huh? Oh my God. False. In the traditional approach, the debtor will be giver since he'll be paying the money for the sale of goods by the entity. Correct? No? No doubt? No? Okay. Honest people, no doubt? No?
No, sir. Sir.
Guys, writing true and false is not sufficient. You have to give the reasoning. The reasoning will come to you only when you're clear with the concept. If you're not clear, I'll tell you. Debtor to sale. Well, while paying the money, what is entry? Bank to debtor. After sale means, can I say they're talking about this? Here, debtor you have credited. Why? He's a giver or receiver. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So he's a giver here. What are they telling here? Debtor will be the receiver after sale of goods. After sale of goods, what happened? Payment comes. So at that time, he's the giver of the money. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. So he's giver, not the receiver. Third one, the rule of nominal account states that all expenses and losses are recorded on the credit side. Debit all expense and losses. So here it is false. The rule of nominal account states that expenses and losses are recorded on the debit side. Now, fourth one, journal proper is also called as a subsidiary book. This I have not taken it, but you can still answer. Under subsidiary book, we have multiple book called as purchase book, purchase return book, sale book, sale return book, cash book, and journal proper. So journal proper is a part of subsidiary book. So when I do subsidiary book, that time you'll understand. So this answer is true. Journal proper is a subsidiary book. True. It is one of the book where the transactions entered. Wherein the transactions not entered in other books are recorded in this book. Any transaction which is not recorded in other books, it is recorded in this book called as journal proper. So when I do subsidiary book, that time you'll understand. Next. Capital account has got debit balance. True, sir. True, sir. Capital account always credit balance. False. Capital accounts will have credit balance. See, now the question is, he's telling us sometimes the capital can have debit balance. No. Now that is exceptional scenario. Now here capital account is having debit balance they're telling. Always will it have debit balance? In this type of question, you have to be prudent enough to understand what are they trying to ask. 99% cases, all the capital accounts will have what? Credit balance only. Debit balance will be when in partnership, only in current account, or when you follow fluctuating capital method, where your other transactions comes into your capital account, that time it becomes debit balance. But are they asking about this? Now you have to make assumption here. So when we make assumption, you have to make best case assumption. So naturally, capital account will always be credit balance. Will you assume that, or will you assume as debit balance? What is the best case assumption? Because I have to choose any one of the two. I can't choose both. So you will write answer here, false. And capital account is credit balance. Yeah, there are exceptional cases where if you withdraw the money more than what you have invested, that time it becomes debit. But otherwise, in general, it is what? In general, it is what? Credit. So we are talking about in general points. False, capital account is credit balance. Now, if you want to give explanation, however, in some cases, capital account could be debit balances where the withdrawal is more than initial capital contributed. In that case, the debit balance can happen. If you want to give extra explanation, nothing wrong in it. Now, purchase account is nominal account. Purchase account is nominal account. True. All the expenses, income, gain, revenue, everything is what? Nominal only. True. It is considered as expense. It is nominal. It is considered as expense. Tell me something. Purchase return. Purchase is nominal. Purchase return, that is also nominal. Anything which is coming in trading and P&L account, everything is nominal. Anything which is coming in trading and P&L account, everything is nominal. All the personal and real accounts are recorded in the P&L. All the nominal accounts are recorded in P&L, whereas all the personal and real account goes to your balance sheet. All assets are real except bank, debtor, bills receivable, prepaid expenses, accrued income. If these are excluded from real account, it is included where? In personal account. So all liabilities are personal, including bank, debtor, bills receivable, prepaid expenses, accrued income. So this will travel to your balance sheet. False, all personal real account will be recorded in the balance sheet. Asset side of balance sheet contains all the personal and nominal accounts. Asset side of the balance sheet. Asset side of the balance sheet. Pakka real. All assets are real. All assets are real. Some assets could be personal. All tangible assets, land, building, plant, machinery, real. But debtor, bank, all that is personal. So all assets in a balance sheet contains all the personal and nominal account. Is it right? No. It contains real and to some extent personal. False. Assets in a balance sheet contains all personal and real. That is, most of them will be real. Here and there, few will be personal. So it is a combination of personal and real, but not real and nominal. Clear now? Now, you will be in position to answer these kind of questions only when your basics are strong. Had I not given those basics in the last 5 or 6 classes, today this true and false will not be easy. Do you agree with that? No energy. Nobody's agreeing with me. Okay. Online people, do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Capital account is personal account. True. Capital account is contributed by the natural person. Natural personal account. True. As it is in the name of the owner who brings in the capital to the business. Hence it is natural personal account. Journal is also known as book of original entry. 100% true. Journal is known as principal books of accounts. First, principal book is what? Ledger. Journal is called as book of original entry. Also called as book of primary entry. Wonderful. Rent paid to landlord is credited to. Now, here how the question will come. See, MCQ is not there in syllabus. But how can they frame the question? No. Rent paid to landlord is credited to cash account. True and false. Like that, they can frame the question. You have to give true and false. Now, rent paid to landlord. What is entry? Rent to cash. So, what is debited? Rent. What is credited? Cash. They are asking what? Credited. So, what is right answer? Cash. 1C. 1C. In case of a debt becoming bad. Debt becoming bad. Debt means which debt I'm talking about? Am I talking about the borrowing? No, we're talking about debtor. The money that I'm supposed to receive from debtor that became bad means what? I sold goods worth 10,000 rupees to one customer called as X on credit. So I did a credit sale, debtor to sale. This donkey fellow said, get lost, I'll not pay you the money. I also lost the hope of receiving money. So for me, it is loss. So what is the entry for bad debt? Bad debt to debtor. Bad debt to debtor. So which amount should be credited? Credit should be given where? In the debtor account. Which account? Debtor is also called as trade receivable. So A is the right answer. 2A. Easy. Now, A Limited has a 35,000 rupees account receivable from Mohan. A Limited has 35,000 account receivable from Mohan, which means A has to receive from Mohan. On January 22, Mohan makes a partial payment of 21,000 to A Limited. So out of 35,000, if I receive 21,000 payment, what is the balance? 14,000. The journal entry made on 22 January by A Limited. So we are now in the books of A Limited. To record this transaction includes what? What is entry for this? Money is coming in. Cash account debit to Mohan account. Credit cash received account 21,000. One option. Credit the account receivable of credit the account receivable. Means account receivable means who? Mohan. See, account receivable, trade receivable is all category. Debtor is category. Under that, what happens? Mohan comes. Please understand. When I say account receivable, another name for this is trade receivable. In this, we have two more subcategory called as debtor and we have bills receivable. Under debtor, we have Mohan, Ram, Sham, Ghansham, all that will come under that. So all those are accounts. All those are accounts. So we have multiple debtor. So debtor becomes a classification. Under that, the individual person's account is called as account. Right? So all these are coming under debtor account and debtor is coming under trade receivable account. So when I say Mohan account debit, the word Mohan is not given. Instead of that, if they give account receivable, anything wrong? No. So Mohan should be credited, which is nothing but trade receivable credit. So credit in the trade receivable 21,000. This is right. 3B. Any problem? No problem. Now, fourth one, leave it. Fifth one. Which account is odd one out? Office furniture equipment, freehold land building, inventory of materials. All these are assets. But I want in assets odd one out. All these are asset. But still, how can I make odd one out? These both are tangible assets. We also called as non-current assets. Whereas inventory is what? Current assets. So what is the difference between current asset and non-current asset? Had you done 12 with me? Financial statement, that time you'll know it. If not, I'll do financial statement now. Where? In foundation, that time you'll know about it. Am I clear? So the difference between these both is this. So office, furniture, equipment, freehold, land building is nothing but tangible asset. Inventory is not a tangible asset. This way I'm trying to explain. Another way of explaining is that office, furniture, equipment, freehold, land building is all non-current asset. Whereas inventory is your current asset. Difference between non-current asset, current asset will be understood when I do financial statement with you. Not now, in the right time. Please tell me that debts written off as bad debt. The bad debt which is already written off means last year you did a sale. Last year, previous year you did a sale. The entry was what? Debtor to sale. Debtor account debit to sale. I'll do it on the whiteboard. Previous year you did a sale. The entry was debtor to sale. How much? 10,000, 10,000. By the time you came to the end of the year, the customer said, get lost, I'm not paying you the money. And you have no expectation to receive the money. That is gone. Expectation is gone. Now, when you know that money is not going to come, will you keep this data still on your asset side? Asset means what? You have an expectation to receive this money from this fellow. When he says that he's not going to give the money, and when you have accepted it, is it okay to have the data still in your balance sheet? No. So I'll close the data. Data is currently sitting in debit. To close, I have to give a credit to data, 10,000. And debit will be what? Loss account. Bad debt account debit 10,000 to debtor. So debtor account is opened here and debtor account is closed here. So whatever income you have recorded, that has been closed or knocked off against the loss. So no profit, no loss. So overall P&L impact is 0 for this transaction. Because in trading account, credit side you recorded 10,000. P&L account debit side you recorded 10,000. So credit 10,000, debit 10,000. Overall net profit is 0. Okay. Now, in the current year, that person felt guilty about not giving the payment. He knows he's cheated you. So now he's coming that, sir, take this 10,000 rupees. He's coming in, handing over the money to you. So you're receiving the money. So what is the entry? Cash account debit. To what? To bad debt recovered. Don't put the person who's giving the money. You will happily say, sir, credit the giver. Mohan gave the money, credit the giver to Mohan account. Donkey fellow, if you open again Mohan account, you are recreating the debtor account. If you recreate the asset account, how will you close this in future? So if a person is giving you the money, just because he's giving the money, you can't apply the rule, credit the giver and record it. No, this is an income to you. Why this is income? Earlier you had an income of 10,000. This income you knocked off against the loss. So your profit in the P&L was what? 0. Did you pay tax to government? On that, did you pay tax to government? No. Now when this 10,000 rupees is coming back to you, is it not your responsibility to record this 10,000 as your income? On that you have to pay tax to government. Are you able to follow? So this will directly go to an income called as bad debt recovered account. Bad debt recovered account. Bad debt recovered account. Credit all income and gain. So what is the nature of bad debt recovered account? It is a nominal account. Credit all income and gain. So 10,000 rupees what you're receiving is your gain. Any problem here? So cash account debit to bad debt recovered. Now what is the question saying? The debt written off as bad debt earlier. if recovered subsequently are credited to which account? Credited to bad debt recover account. 6A is the right answer. This is wrong. This is wrong. 6A is the right answer. Any problem? Any problem? Okay. Seventh one. In double entry system of bookkeeping, every business transaction affects two account, two side of same account, the same account of two different dates. Now here we'll follow elimination method. We will eliminate that answer which is nonsense. Double entry means two side same account. Two sides same account. In same account, two sides. In same account, here also I'll record, here also I'll record. In cash account, 10,000 capital, 10,000 cash. Will I do it? No, nonsense. Same account on two different dates. Same account, two different dates. Oh, two different dates. I'll record the entry, double entry. One day tomorrow, today, one day tomorrow, double entry. Nonsense. So what is the best option here? Double entry means transaction affecting two account. Even, okay, this is also not 100% sense. Here, what are they trying to say? Double entry will affect only two accounts. Is it true? Sometimes it affects three accounts also. Minimum two. But out of the three, this made more sensible statement. So this process of getting the right answer is called as elimination method. Sometimes when you don't get the right answer directly, eliminate the other options. For example, in my career, what to do, I don't know. The first thing what I did is I eliminated that I don't want to do science. First thing what I did is I eliminated that I don't want to do science. I came into commerce. In commerce, what to do? That's the next problem. This is called as elimination method. So you have, when you have 100 crores in front of you, which course to select, you don't know. So at least in the 100 course, which you don't want to do, first eliminate. You'll be left with what you want to do. Then you brainstorm and decide which career to select. Now you have selected, you don't do all the drama. For you, game is over. You've come to CA, finish. Only CA only till the end. After that, if you have to do any extra courses, that we will discuss. Now, this approach is called as what approach? Elimination approach. Now, 8th point. The sale of goods to Ram for cash should be debited to. Sale of goods to Ram for cash. Cash to sales. Debited to cash account. 8B. 8B. Any problem? Okay. Theory question. Write short note on classification of accounts. Will anybody expect this question to come in exam? Classification of accounts. Imagine in exam hall, you're sitting, theory question 4 mark, classification of accounts. You forgot what is classification. Because you never give importance to theory. 4 mark. Imagine if you know this answer, 4 mark you can get. No, don't leave any theory part. Every theory should be learned. Distinguish between real account and nominal account. Like that, any type of theory questions can come. Just not this. In the chapter, within the chapter, wherever you feel that question is possible, difference between question, characteristics question, advantages, disadvantages, limitation, paragraph based questions, whatever it is, everything should be feeded in your mind. Anyhow, the questions can be framed. There's no format. This question only I'll ask. Like how it is in the board exam for matriculation people. Book bag theory, that only I'll ask. I'll not ask anything like that. Apart from that, nothing doing. Here, anything, any question can come from any side. Every single theory you have to have a command over. Last batch, they made a disaster. Few people, sir, theory, no, sir, I have full control, sir. I'll do at the end. That end never came. In exam, they were not in position to attend the theory part because the theory question what they asked in Jan written was very, very, very tricky. The theory question which came in Jan was very, very tricky. That kind of theory question, nobody dreamt about it. So don't leave any theory question and come. That will save you marks. Imagine the person who's got 196. This 4 mark would have helped to get 200. So 1 mark also is very important in the entire journey of C. Do not miss it. Practical questions, homework, I already gave if I'm not wrong. Correct? Okay. Unit 1, I've completed the discussion on the true and false and MCQs. Can we go to Unit 2? Okay. Unit 2 is what? Ledger. Very important. Forgot to discuss. Oh my God. Wherever you have unit back summary, full summary should be in your fingertips. Summary means we feel whatever is the point given in the theory, summary of that is given there. True, no doubt. But sometime in the summary, what ICA does is they give the new point in the summary, which is not even there anywhere in the inside theory part. So summary is also even more important. Every unit back summary should be in your fingertips. Will you forget this point? No. From here, chances of getting 1 mark question or MCQ question from here. Not MCQ, true and false, sorry. Now, a ledger is also known as principal books of accounts. Principal or primary? Journal is primary, ledger is principal. High chances of getting confused in PP. Primary, secondary. Journal is primary, ledger is secondary. This is principal. Why this is called as principal? Because this is main book from where I can get more detailed information. Total of the cash, how much cash is coming in, how much is cash going out. So I can get more information in the ledger compared to journal. So this is my main book. Main book means what? Principal book. Will you forget this point? No. Cash account has debit balance. Correct. Cash is asset. Asset will always have debit balance. Posting in the process of transferring the accounts from ledger to journal. Oh. Train is going in reverse. Ledger to journal. Now, posting in the process of transferring from ledger also is there, journal is there. Two, you will forget. Something between journal and ledger is called as posting. True. Donkey fellow, it is said ledger to journal. Ulta they telling. False. Posting is the process of transferring the accounts from journal to ledger. Any problem? Okay. Now, if you look at the previous answer, cash account is debit balance. True. Being an asset under modern rule, cash account always has debit balance. At the end of the accounting year, all nominal accounts of the ledger are balanced. Partially true, partially false. Balanced, taken to trial balance to check arithmetical accuracy, and then later it has been closed. So here, what do you assume? Nothing mentioned means they want to know the nominal accounts at the end. What will you do? Will you keep it still balanced? No. You'll be closing it by passing a closing entry. You will not keep the balance. The balance of which account is there? Personal and real account. Asset, liability, capital only will have the balance. Nominal accounts will never have the balance. False. At the end of the accounting year, all the nominal accounts of the ledger book are totaled and transferred to P&L account by passing, write it down, by passing a closing entry. By passing a closing entry. By passing a closing journal entry. Very, very important. Any problem? Next. Ledger records the transaction in a chronological order. False. Journal records the transaction in the chronological order. Chronological order means what? Recording the transaction as and when it takes place in a particular order. Means today's transaction I should record today only. When I say chronological order, don't take it literally. So 10 a.m. when transaction happened, I will record 10 a.m. only. 12 p.m. when transaction happened, I'll record 12 p.m. only. Within the day, you can change the order. But what we are telling is, by chronological order, what we mean is that today's transaction should be recorded today only. You can't record tomorrow. So journal is recorded. Journal entries are recorded in chronological order, whereas ledger are recorded in analytical order. Analytical order means what? Analytical is a word derived from the word analysis. So when you record the data from journal to ledger, you analyze. Acha, cash account debit to capital account. So this should go to the debit side of cash account. This should go to the credit side of capital account. You put a mind into it. Mind means what? You're putting your analysis into it. You're putting a thought process into it. So I'm not randomly recording the entry. I'm putting my thought process into it. In that order, I'm recording the entries. So in what order do you record? Analytical order. 1 second now. So ledger records a transaction in analytical order. In an analytical format, we analyze it and we record it. There is no necessity that we have to record in the same order as you recorded journal. Whenever you come across any journal, you think what entry is that, analyze that and record in the respective account. So here they have told that it should be recorded in the analytical order. But journal is recorded in chronological order. Yes, Kana.
Sir, we know this is a ledger lesson. So we have changed that chronological order to analytical order. But in our exam paper, we don't know if it's journal or ledger. So we can change ledger to journal also for chronological order. Like in this question, instead of ledger, we can change journal also. So journal is being recorded in the chronological order also. We can change now.
Change to what?
Like if ledger is recorded in this question, ledger is recorded in
analytical order.
Chronological order they have given.
Amma.
It is false. So we can write like journal is recorded in the chronological order. We can change,
you instead of telling that ledger is recorded in analytical order, you're telling explanation. No. See, you have to understand. Okay, what she's telling is that this question is given. No. Ledger is recorded in chronological order. Instead of telling that false, ledger is recorded in analytical order, what if I say, if I don't talk about anything about ledger, I will not talk anything about ledger, rather I would say, what is recorded in chronological order? What is recorded? Journal is recorded in the chronological order. You can do that, you will lose marks. Half mark will get, because they want to know if ledger is not recorded in the chronological order, then what order is recorded, we have to know that. Now, the strategy what you said can be adopted when you don't know ledger in what order we record. That time you can't leave the answer and come now. That time you have to give your best answer. So if you don't know ledger what order it is recorded, at least you can say what you know. So what you know? Journal is recorded in the chronological order, that you know. So you write that and come. Maybe for false you'll get 1 mark, and maybe for the answer what you gave, they might give you 0 or they might give you half for that. So that option you should adopt only at the end when you don't know the full answer. But when you know the full answer, write both and come. So you should say that ledger is recorded in the analytical order, journal is recorded in the chronological order. That is what they expect. They expect a complete round answer from you. Half answer means it can affect your marks. But yes, you can adopt this method only when you don't know the other half of the answer. So if you don't know ledger what order is recorded, at least you can tell what you know. That is another best way of navigating the problem. Now, good thinking. Anyways, 6th point. If the total of the debit side is greater than the total of credit side, total of the debit side is greater than total of credit side, we will get a credit balance as the opening balance. If debit side ka total is more, then the balance will come on the debit side. Debit balance means what? What is the meaning of debit balance? Debit is more than credit. That is why heavy balance is coming on the debit side. So the answer is false. If the total of the debit side is greater than the total of credit side, we will obviously get debit balance. So whichever side is more, that balance only will get. For example, if you see cash account, debit side I record 100, credit side 0. Balance carried down 100, brought down 100. So brought down balance came on which side? That side where the balance is more. So in case in exam, if you get confused also, do a ledger simply and see. Then and there you'll get the answer. Next. Ledger account of asset will always be debited when they are increased. Asset will be debited when they are increased. To increase asset, we have to give a debit. True. To increase the asset, it shall be debited. Since the original balance also is debit balance, to increase the debit balance item, we have to give a debit. Any problem? No, sir. Online people, any problem?
No, sir.
Now, multiple choice question. The process of transferring the debit and credit items from a journal to the respective account of ledger is termed as posting. 1A, posting. Online people, please respond. The technique of finding the net balance of account after considering the total of both debit and credit appearing in the account is known as. One more time. The technique of finding the balance in account after considering the total of both debit and credit. That is, I posted. After posting, first step is posting. Second step is I will total which side is higher. After totaling, what will I do next? Third is balancing. So they're telling that after you do the totaling of debit and credit, the net balance what you find, no, that process is called as what? Balancing of account. Okay, you might get this as true and false. The technique of finding the net balance of an account after considering the total of both debit and credit appearing in the account is known as posting. You will say false and you'll write the entire statement. No, this is called as balancing of account. So MCQ question, you have to see from what point of view? True and false point of view. Journal and ledger records the transactions. The word respectively means what? If journal is given first, the first item is for the first item. And the second item is for the second item. So journal, chronological, ledger, analytical. So what is the right answer? A is the right answer. 3A. Any problem? Ledger book is popularly known as Principal Book of Accounts. 4B. 5. At the end of the accounting year, all nominal accounts of the ledger are balanced but not transferred to P&L. Not transferred to P&L. Oh my God, this is wrong. Not balanced and also balanced, and also the balance is not transferred to P&L. Wrong. Not balanced and the balance is transferred to P&L. Actually, this also is wrong. Technically, we balance it. And then we transfer the balance to P&L. But when I compare C with A and B are very highly nonsense answer. In comparison to that, C makes more sense. But even C is actually wrong because all the nominal accounts are balanced. If the nominal accounts are not balanced, How the hell did it appear in the trial balance? Which column it will come? How did you know about it? Only based on the balance of the ledger, you will decide whether this will go to debit column or credit column. If purchase you are putting in debit column of trial balance, how did you know purchase should go to debit column of trial balance? Don't tell that he's mugged up, purchase will go to debit column. Anything which is recorded in trial balance is based on the balance. If the balance is coming on debit side, it will go to debit column. If the balance brought in is coming on credit side, it will go to credit column. So even the normal accounts are balanced. But later, the balance is transferred to the P&L. Look at the word. The balance is transferred to P&L. Without balancing, how the balance is transferred? He said not balanced. No. Not balanced. This statement itself is contradictory. He's telling not balanced. Normal accounts are not balanced. If you don't balance it, you will not get the balance. But your next line, the very next line, what I'm telling, the balance is transferred to P&L. Without balancing, how will you get the balance? And how you know that this balance should be transferred to P&L? So balancing has to be done and it has to be transferred to P&L. But out of the three answers, this looks a little bit sensible. Why? Because in A and B, it said not to transfer to P&L. So by that virtue, C got selected. Or else I would have rejected C also. Because right answer is balancing and the balance should be transferred to P&L. What do you mean by principal books of accounts? Tell me. Theory question, 4 mark. What ledger? What do you mean by principal books of accounts? 4 mark if you write properly. Now, a person who does not study theory properly will do loose talks in the examination. Everything wrong, he'll write. Whatever he feels like, he'll write. The person who is correcting the paper, he'll also give marks whatever he feels like. If he feels like 0, he'll give 0 also. So what are you supposed to do? Study each and every theory. In all the theory, at least 4 points minimum register in your minds. So that at least you can vomit and come. What are the rules of posting journal entries to ledger? Rules of posting journal entries to ledger. Don't know, no? You have to go and study this. Without studying, you'll not know. You're not genius. You're in the process of becoming genius. So you have to study. Theory question, homework. Practical question, I gave already as homework. Correct, no? Any problem? No problem. Can I go to next unit? Unit 3, trial balance. Online people, is this speed okay? Am I going too fast? Helpa, is this speed okay or am I going too fast?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. As fast poetry, na? Who is the donkey fellow? Which means you have not done the revision properly. This speed, if anybody is not able to match, the problem is not with sir. The problem is with you who has not done the revision. Guys, in exam, when you get the question, there is no time to sit and think. What is the answer for that? When you read the question, answer should come spontaneously. So for that, revision will play a very vital role. Understand? 3 hours of time. You have to complete 100-mark paper. It is not going to be easy. CBC people, so far, in 3 hours, you wrote 80-mark paper. Now it is 100-mark paper. 80K conduct tani vandruchu. Now it is 100-mark. And matriculation people, you wrote for 90-mark. Now it is same 3 hours, but 100 marks. You can't sit and think. Your revision level, the revision what you do, the practice what you do should be so much. The moment you look at the question, instantly answer should come. If I ask you, asset is what balance? Instantly it is coming or not? Because so many times you have revised in class. That many times you have to revise everything. Instantly the answer should come. Any problem? Now, preparing trial balance is the third phase of accounting process. Correct? Guys, preparing trial balance is third phase of accounting process. True. Why? Because first phase is recording. Second phase is journal. First phase is recording journal. Second phase is posting ledger. Third phase is trial balance. Now, when you come from accounting process, accounting is a systematic process of identifying business financial transaction, measuring in terms of money. That is not practically the recording aspect. Practical part of accounting does not begin with the first 2 points. Practical part of the accounting begins from where? Journal. So journal is first, ledger is second, trial balance is third. So trial balance is definitely the third phase of accounting process. Answer. Okay. True. Preparing the trial balance is the third phase of the accounting process, which forms the base of preparing the final accounts. Any problem? No, sir. Trial balance forms the base of preparing financial statement. Yes. Because if trial balance is prepared, I can conveniently prepare a reliable financial statement. If any single-sided mistake is there, I can identify it using trial balance, and that will help me to prepare a proper trial balance with the double side impact. And on that basis, the financial statement can be appropriately be prepared. Any problem? No problem. Agreement of the trial balance is a conclusive proof of accuracy, which means trial balance is accurate. How do you know? When the trial balance ka total tallies, it is conclusive evidence. It's a conclusive proof that your trial balance is accurate. Not possible. See, single-sided mistake, you will be able to find out because trial balance will not tally. But double-sided mistake, I gave example in last class. What is it? Omission. If the entire transaction I omit, debit aspect also gone, credit also gone. So the 10,000 less if you record, what will happen? Still trial balance will tally. So just because the trial balance is tallying, agreement of trial balance means what? The total of the debit and the total of the credit is equal is what they're telling. Just because the total of the debit and the total of credit is tallying, it does not mean that your trial balance is accurate. You can't say that your trial balance is free from mistakes. How can they change the question? They can change the question this way. Please make a note. Make a note of it. Agreement of trial balance is a conclusive proof that trial balance is free from error or misstatement. Agreement of trial balance is a conclusive proof or evidence that the trial balance is free from error. Just because the trial balance is tallying, can you say it is free from error? Still error could be there. Which type of error? Double-sided error. Error is also called as misstatement. Misstatement means any mistake. Am I clear? So this question can be framed anyhow. Language of the question can be framed anyhow. You have to get the emotion of the question. Any problem? False. Agreement of the trial balance gives only arithmetical accuracy. There still can be errors while preparing the trial balance. Which type of error? Double-sided error. Example, error of complete omission. Entire transaction completely omitted. Second is compensating error. What is this? We'll discuss in rectification of errors. Now, point 4. A trial balance will tally in case of compensating errors. Compensating error, I can't explain much now, but I'll explain in ROE. Now, I'll just tell you an example. Compensating error means error caused in one place is being compensated by another error caused in opposite place. If one error is caused in debit column, let's say in debit column, let's say cash introduced as capital. Cash capital 10,000, 10,000. But in capital account, instead of recording 10,000, I recorded 9,000. Any problem? One is credit sale. Credit sale entry is what? Debtor to sale. How much? Same 10,000. So debtor 10,000, sale 10,000. But while recording in debtor account, I recorded 9,000. Is 9,000 correct? Is this 9,000 correct? No, both are wrong. But one error is compensated by another error, and both are happening on opposite side. Now, please tell me the total of the trial balance. 19,000, 19,000. Now, people, your trial balance is tallying. Just because the trial balance is tallying, is it a conclusive proof that it is free from error? It is free from misstatement? It is accurate? No, error still exists. And this is the error. This point is the error. Any problem here? So now, if one error in capital account is compensated by another error in debtor account, but both are on opposite side, error is happening opposite errors. In that case, this error is called as compensating error. So trial balance will tally in case of compensating errors? Yes. So the error now I did is compensating error. Despite doing an error, my trial balance is still tallying. True. True. Since compensating errors cancels out due to their compensating nature. Error is cancelled out. Since in compensating error, the errors are cancelled out due to the compensating nature of the amount. Hence, the trial balance will tally. Fifth one, a trial balance can find the missing entry from the journal. Can you find a missing entry from the journal? True or false? Missing entry from the journal. False. A trial balance cannot find any missing entry from the journal. I cannot find out if any entry is missed. In ledger, if you have done one-sided posting, then trial balance will not tally. That I'll get to know. But at journal level, Not possible. Sixth, suspense account is opened in the trial balance is a permanent account. I told you, suspense account you create when we try to rectify one trial balance. When we try to rectify one trial balance, luckily in that question, trial balance tallied. But I told you, sometimes the total won't tally. If you take some questions from TS level book, in that there are some questions where the trial balance is not tallying even after rectification. So that difference, where do you post it? In the suspense account. Now that suspense account, I told you to close it by the end of the year or by the time you file your income tax returns. So which means the suspense account what I opened now is a temporary account or permanent account. It's a temporary account, not a permanent account. So suspense account, for that moment, to tally the trial balance, for that moment I insert the suspense account. But at the end, you have to close the suspense account. So by the time you close the books of accounts, by the time you finalize the accounts and file the income tax return, wherever the error happened, identify that, compensate that error against the suspense account or knock off the error against suspense account. Am I loud and clear? Online people, am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
False. Suspense account opened in the trial balance is a temporary account, not a permanent account. I can't keep this account permanently. Cash account, capital account, I can keep it permanently as long as the transaction is happening. But suspense account is not permanent, it is temporary. Now you open it immediately at the end of the year or before filing your income tax returns or before finalizing your accounts. Before closing your accounts, you have to close the suspense account. Because a financial statement with suspense account is not a reliable financial statement. The balance of the purchase return account is a credit balance. Purchase is debit. Purchase return is opposite, which is credit balance. True, a purchase is debited, any return should be credited, treated opposite way. A trial balance will not balance if a trial balance will not balance means a trial balance will not tally. Correct journal entry is posted twice. 2-time debit, 2-time credit. Still trial balance will tally. So if you are doing error of point number A, trial balance will tally. The purchase on credit basis debited to purchase account, credited to cash account. One debit increase, another debit. Sorry, one what do you call it? One item is increasing, another item is decreasing. The purchase on credit basis. What is the actual error? Sorry, what is the actual entry? Purchase to creditor. Instead of doing purchase to cash. This is wrong. But because of this error, will your trial balance not tally? No, it will tally. Here, the error will still lead to trial balance being tally. But this is error. What error this is? Error of principle. You have treated a creditor, that is credit transaction, as cash transaction. So this is error of principle. What is error of principle? In discussion, sorry, in detail I discuss in rectification of errors. C point says that 500 rupees cash payment to creditor. 500 cash payment to creditor is debited to trade payable for 50 and credited to cash as 500. 500 cash payment to creditor is debited to trade payable. You're making the payment to creditor. You're making the payment to creditor. So creditor account debit. How much? 500. For 50. So actual payment that is what? 50. But how much are you debiting? 500. And credited to cash as 500. Crediting to cash as 500. Now, here also it is tallying. What is the right answer? $500 cash payment to creditor is debited to trade payable. Okay, trade payable as. Oh, okay, sorry. Instead of 500, we put as 50. That's what. So creditor account debit, instead of 500 debiting, you debited 50. But you recorded in the credit 500 properly. So here the trial balance will not tally because in debit column you recorded 50, in credit column 500. So what is the difference? 450. Until you find the difference will be placed in suspense account. Suspense account is permanent account. False, it is temporary account. So point number C is the answer. 1C. Online people, okay or not okay? One donkey left the meeting. Who's that? I don't know. Anjana, Ashwin, Ashmita, Darshini. You're able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yashwini, Solomon, Ria, Niyasha, Nancy, Hemashri. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, second one. Rupees 1,500 received from subtenant for rent are entered correctly in the cash book is posted to the debit of the rent account in the trial balance. So first I have to make you understand what is the meaning of subtenant of rent. Subtenant for rent. Now, I have taken this academy on rent. I'm going to use this premises. I'm going to use the premises. I'll be called as tenant. And the person who's allowing me to use the premises is called as owner. This process is called as owner has let out. Owner has let out this premises to tenant. Okay. I'm called as tenant. Owner has let out this to tenant. Now, sometime what happens? Tenant, the last room is extra. I don't know what to do. That room I have let out to one teacher. So for that I'm getting rent. So now one part of the premises is sublet to another person. It is let to some other person. So the process of tenant letting a part of the premises to another person is called as subletting. Understood? Now 1,500 I have received. Why I have received? Because I have given this premises to one person who's called as subtenant. So this person is called as what? Subtenant. You understand? The person who's owning the premises is called as owner. Owner would have let this to one person. No, that person is called as tenant. Now tenant would have been subletting this premises. No, that person to whom I have sublet, the teacher, is called as subtenant. So from subtenant, I am getting a rent of 1,500. Understood? So for me, it is income or expense? Income. So 1,500 received from my subtenant, entered correctly in the cash book, is posted to the debit of the rent account. Entered properly in the cash book means what? I've recorded properly in the cash book. Now I don't do in the subsidiary book format. Let me do in the journal format. This money, if I'm receiving Krish from subtenant, what is entry? Cash account debit to rent received or rent income. How much? 1,500. While posting, I'll post in the cash account. Which side? Debit side, to rent received or to rent income 1,500. And in the rent income account, by cash how much? 1,500. Which side? Credit side. So what has happened? You entered this correctly in the cash book. That is in the cash account. They said cash book, okay, but I'm telling cash account because I've not taught you cash book yet. So cash book, assume is equal to cash account because the format of the cash book and the cash account both is same. Okay, in subsidiary book you understand that in detail. So in the cash book, that is debit side, you recorded properly. They're telling that in the cash account you recorded properly. Recorded properly means what? I recorded on the debit side. Okay, so the other part where I should record in some other ledger, which side? Credit side. But they are telling that this has been posted to the rent account. Which side? Debit side of rent account. So instead of recording here, they're recording in the debit side of rent account 1,500. Error or not error? 100% error. And because of this error, trial balance will tally or not tally? Trial balance will not tally because now when I prepare the trial balance, in the debit I will have 1,500 and one more 1,500. Total will be 3,000 and credit will be 0. So in the trial balance, what will happen? Debit total will be greater by 3,000 than credit total. 3A is the right option. I'll understand. One more time. In cash account, you recorded properly. Which side you recorded? To rent received 1,500. Carried down 1,500. Brought down 1,500. Brought down is coming which side? Debit side. So this is debit balance. In rent account, where are you supposed to record? By cash. But instead of recording by cash in credit side, you're recording in the debit side of rent account. Debit side of rent account. So to cash 1,500. Carry down 1,500. Brought down 1,500. Now this brought down is coming on which side? Debit side. So what balance it is? Debit balance. Now if I prepare the trial balance. Debit and credit. Cash is 3,000 debit balance. Rent received or rent income is also 3,000 debit balance. Total is, 1,500. No, 1,500. Sorry. Total is 1,500. 1,500. How much it is? 3,000. So can I say the total of the debit is greater by 3,000 than credit? The debit total will be greater by 3000. The total of the debit side is 3000, which is greater than the credit side total because credit side is 0 for now. Which is the right answer? 2A is the right answer. Any problem? If you don't understand the entire flow, then screw. The understanding is very, very important. After the preparation of ledger, the next step is the preparation of trial balance. After trial balance, only trading P&L and balance sheet will come into picture. After preparing trial balance, the accountant finds that the total of the debit side is short by 1500. The total of debit side is short. So the difference will be placed where suspense account is correct, but debit or credit? Debit. Now please understand. Actual total is 5000. But they're telling that after preparing trial balance, the accountant finds that total of debit is short. Short by how much? 1500. How much it is? 3500. So debit side is less by 1500. Now suspense, where will you insert? Wherever there's a shortfall. So I'll debit suspense account 1500. So debited to suspense account 1500. 4B is the right answer. 4B is the right answer. Any problem? Any problem? Now, what is the problem? Sale credit okay. Purchase debit okay. Miscellaneous expense 2005 debit okay. Salaries expense. Expense should come debit side. I'll put 2500 here. So in that case, what is the revised balance? This becomes 15,000 and this becomes 15,000. So trial balance was not tallying. By rectifying the error, we made the trial balance now tally. So imagine, even after this rectification, still trial balance is not tallying. Then what are you supposed to do? Insert suspense, give this trial balance to your senior accountant so that he can prepare the trading P&L and balance sheet. In meantime, what are you supposed to do? Find out the error. About this, I'll discuss in depth when I do rectification of error. The difference in trial balance is why? Because salary ka placement is wrong. Salary ka placement is wrong. 5B. 5B. Theory question. What is trial balance and how it is prepared? 4 mark. A person who does not study will answer it. But all nonsense will write and come. Whatever you feel like writing will come. Write and come. That is not allowed. Explain the objectives of preparation of trial balance. Even if the trial balance agrees, some error may remain. Do you agree? Explain. Explanation plus examples. Explanation is required plus example is required. So all these are 4 mark questions. Can you manage? Practical questions? Please take this as homework. The question says that draw up a corrected trial balance. Debiting or crediting any residual error. That is, if balance is not tallying, insert suspense account. Let's have a look at the answer. You see, there's a suspense account coming into picture as balancing figure, which means what? Even though you try to rectify this, but still suspense account had to be created. Why? Because the question was not tallying. But we have suspense account here already. This is the answer. Yeah? Okay. Let's do this question. I'll just do it fast. Provision for doubtful debt, right or wrong? Provision is always credit balance. Why provision is credit balance? I'll discuss in depth when I do the final accounts. Wrong. This should come where? Credit side. Bank overdraft. Wrong. This should go to credit side. Capital. Correct. Trade payable. Correct. Trade receivable. Correct. Discount received. Gain. Credit balance. Credit all income and gain. Right. Discount allowed. Discount allowed. Oh, wait. Discount received is coming on the debit column. Wrong. You should go to credit column because discount is gain. Credit all income and gain. So this is credit balance item. Discount allowed is loss. You should come to which account? Debit account. So come to here. Drawings. Capital is credit balance. Then drawings will be opposite. Debit balance. This is right. Office furniture. Asset. Debit balance. General expenses. Expenses. Debit balance. Wrong. It should go to your debit side. One, two, three, four, 5 mistakes so far. Okay. Purchases is correct. Debit column. Correct. Return inward means what? Sales return. Return inward. Goods is coming inside. So who is returning in a way that goods is coming inside? My customer is returning the goods back. So return inward. Return inward means sales return. Sale is what balance? Credit. Sales return will be opposite, which is debit. What have they done? They put in credit. Wrong. It should come in debit. Rent and rate, expenses, correct. Debit balance, it should come in debit column. Salary is also correct. Sales also correct. Inventory means what inventory? Opening inventory. Opening inventory, correct. Provision for depreciation, wrong. It is a liability. It goes to credit side, credit balance. Technically, this is not a liability, but for now, just remember that way. When I come to final accounts, we'll discuss this in depth. Now, can you prepare the revised trial balance? Now, still the difference will come. That will be placed in suspense account, and that account is permanent in nature. It is temporary in nature. Any problem? Easy? Easy? Very easy. Very good. So technically, we're done with unit 1, 2, and 3. Now listen to me very carefully. I'm just pausing the video. This is not required for the recorded people. Online people, listen to me very carefully. So we can wind up. That's all. So yes, people, that's all from my side for this session. I'll see you all in the next class. Until then, bye-bye. See you. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.